I was going to simply talk about, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Paul, on one occasion, and you ain't got to look it up, but Paul, on one occasion, was going about his ministry, and he said to a collected church, "Every time I think of you, I give thanks." I know Thanksgiving not until November, but every day is a day of thanksgiving. And one of the challenges that we all have to deal with is the spirit of ingratitude. I guess it's hard to ask you to give God thanks when you can't even give thanks to the obvious. You got to pray. You got to pray about that spirit of ingratitude. Who am I talking to this morning? There is in Colossians this text that I was going to read, which talks about how your prayer ought to be accompanied with thanksgiving. And I hear the deacons when they pray sometimes, they say, "Now Lord, we want, before we ask you for anything, we want to say thank you." To be able to accompany the petition with thanksgiving. You should have been spilling that grape juice all over yourself, because God shed his blood. He did for us what we could not do for ourselves. And oh God, how we thank you. You got to look for opportunities to say thank you. You know, he didn't have to wake you up this morning. Thank you. Blood running warm in your veins. Thank you. Clothed in your right mind. Activity of your limbs. Thank you. Stuff may not be quite like I'd like it, but thank you. But you got to get to a point in your life when you stop whining and complaining. God's been good to you. Even if stuff don't work out according to your plan, God's been good to you. He makes all things work together for your good. Do I have any witnesses in here? For I stand here today as a wounded healer. I stand here today as a living testimony that if you fall, God can pick you up. If you fail, God can forgive you. If you would but trust him, God can restore you. Thank you is a word that you need to learn how to say. Thank you that God is